Hey everyone, it is Barb Teckle. How are you? So the background looks a little bit different, as you might be able to tell. I am not in my Joyful Paws creative studio, creative cottage today. I am inside our pod camper because we are still on vacation. Um, yeah, we'll be here another week in Florida, and then we will be making the slow trek back home. 3-day trek back home starting next Tuesday. Well, I guess I should say 4 days. Our plans changes a little slight bit, which I better make sure I tell my mom before she sees this video. Give her an update so she knows where we're at. Anyways, I digress, but that is why the different background today. So I had to make the bed so it at least look nice for you. But I wanted to do the reading for April and look at what the theme is, and also look at what animal is going to be guiding us for the month of April. And if it all works out as I get back home and get settled back in, what I would like to do that I mentioned, I think in my last video, is I want to check in halfway into the month of each month going forward with the reading I did at the beginning of the month, and just check in and see if there's any more we need to know, any more guidance that we need, just as a way to support you more. It does feel to me like moving into April, the energies are not as quite as intense anymore. I hope you've been feeling that also. From what I understand from astrology, which I've mentioned before, I do follow different astrologers. And, this year is still going to be full of revolutions, revelations. So we are going to have some more intense times, but it does seem like we're moving into more of a more settling energy. And I hope, I have a feeling you're probably going to welcome that as much as I am. I've definitely had a little more subtle energy being here in Florida. It's been a lot more relaxed, a lot more calm. But I'm sure that has something to do with being on vacation as well. So let's pull a card that is going to be our theme for the month of April. And then we'll pull an animal card to go with it. That will be our animal guide. Oops, that one just fell out. I'm going to take that one. That is the one. And I'm using today, I'm in this kind of cramped little corner here of the camper. So this is the wisdom of the oracle that I pulled for our theme. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is fork in the road. All kinds of animals on this card. We have what looks like, gosh, I don't even know what kind of animal that is with the antlers. I'm not quite sure. Might have to look that up. There's an antler, there's an animal with antlers. There is a monkey at the top of the pole with all the different arrows. So a fork in the road really is exactly what it sounds like, a fork in the road. Oh, look at on top of the animal. I just spotted this. On top of the animal, and this was last month's animal, is an owl. You see the owl right on top of that? So again, owl for me always means tapping into our wise inner self, which is very appropriate for fork in the road. Because so often we set out on these paths, right? This path that we're determined that's the path we're going to go down. And then we come to a fork in the road and we're just not sure which way to go. So this is the energy for April. This is the theme for April. So maybe you're at a crossroads, you're trying to make a decision on, something major in your life. It could be something minor too, but usually when it's a fork in the road that makes us stop in our tracks, it's asking us to really tap back in to our wise inner self and really listen to our heart, listen to our intuition about which way we want to go. Because no matter which path we take, there will be lessons learned in that. But what is our best path forward? And I think when we look at this as a collective issue, we are learning to navigate. We are learning to navigate the changes that are happening so rapidly. And for some of us, a lot of us, I can say myself for sure, who is not always keen on change. Change is hard for me. Even coming on vacation, I love going on vacation, but I did notice on this vacation, I was sensing some anxiety as we began on the trip. And I finally feel like I'm settling in just in time to turn around and go back home. But there's a lot of changes, especially when you're camping and you're, moving through different states, and different things you have to navigate on the road. You just got to really be in the present moment. So perhaps that is a theme also for April. Just sharing that little experience with you of what it's been like for me traveling. Even though I love to travel, like I said, I still do experience some anxiety. Just a note on that because I think this will help you as we think about a fork in the road. So sometimes when there is a fork in the road, we do experience anxiety because we don't want to make the wrong choice. But every choice again that we make is always going to be the choice that is going to provide some teaching or some lesson. But it's also, this card really is saying to us, stop. There's, so often we have time to make a choice. We have time to think about the direction we want to take. We have time to sit down and think about, if I take this road, what will that mean? If I go this way, what will that mean? But the most important thing is to tap into our inner self, intuition, and just really listen. Listen from the heart. So many of us have been conditioned to think from our mind and to make a decision from there. And so often when we think from our mind, it's protecting a part of ourselves that is afraid of change. It has fear of the unknown. And just remember when there is that fork in the road to just stop and remember that you have time to make this decision. Most often, more than not, we do have time. So interesting for a fork in the road. How are we going to all move forward? What have we learned the last 3 months that is going to help us as we move through the rest of 2022? Because we're a quarter way into, or a third way into 2022 already. And, January, February, March were some very intense months with so much going on in our world. All right, let's see what animal is going to guide us. There was a lot there today, wasn't there? Let's see what animal is going to guide us as we approach this fork in the road for the month of April. And we really tap into our heart and think about, how do we want to move forward? How do we want to live our best lives, right? All right, what animal is going to guide us? Let's see. This I am pulling from, where's the cover here? The cover is, here's the box actually, Animal Love Oracle cards. This is a beautiful deck. I really like this deck. I'm also going to pull a card from the Animal Reflections Oracle deck I am working on. I have a few of the cards with me that, just as a side note, I so meant to work on some of the cards and write the messages for the ones I still need to. But I really just sat back and enjoyed myself since we've been gone, though I am feeling the itch to get back to work now. And that's okay. That's the decision I decided to make as I've been here. Even though I had set the intention that perhaps I was going to work on some of those cards while I was here, it didn't happen, and that's okay. I'll have plenty of time when I get back home. Okay, what animal is our animal for the month of April? Oh, it's rhinoceros. Rhinoceros. So the words on here are confidence, unconventional, and law of attraction. So let's think about rhinoceros in conjunction with our theme, which is fork in the road. So right away, as I look at this photo, this picture of the rhinoceros, I sort of see it as a clown just with the funny ears. And the rhinoceros has sort of this mischievous, funny look on his or her face. And then looking at the horn, which could be very detrimental if you were to, if that rhinoceros came up at you, if it was upset with you. But it's just kind of funny how there's a mix of, I can't think of the word, there's a mix of harshness because of the horn, but there's also this mixture of softness with the face of the rhinoceros. And like I said, it's almost like a little bit of a clownish look. I'm just sensing it. That's what I'm feeling when I look at this photo. Perhaps you are sensing something totally different, but that's what I'm feeling in the moment here. There's almost like a little smirk on his or her face, almost a little smirk. So when we think about the theme fork in the road and we think about rhinoceros, when we look at the horn, if that rhinoceros came at us with this horn and got us in the back or in the butt or, stabbed us with its horn, and you think about fork in the road, if you take the wrong fork, it could be painful. But I think the thing to remember is it's in those painful lessons when we learn some of our biggest lessons. So try not to fear that. Try not to, because sometimes when we're at this place of a fork in the road, we end up not making a choice at all. And that can actually be more painful than if you do take the wrong path. And the thing is, when you do take the wrong path, you are going to recognize it at some point and you will course correct. So I like the fact that this rhinoceros looks mischievous. And I like the fact that I saw like this kind of clown look about the rhinoceros because, when we are looking at making a change, I think it's good to be open to the mystery. I think it's good to be open to, making sure that you're having fun no matter what choice you make, being open to what the road is going to show you, where it's going to take you. And the fact that the word confidence is with this, I mean, think about a rhinoceros is they are probably pretty confident. They're pretty big, solid creatures. And not too much gets in their way. So as we make these changes, as we decide about perhaps a new path we're going to take, we really we really have to instill within ourselves a sense of confidence. And that comes from being still and listening to that inner voice within, and listening to that wise inner self again. Let's see if there's anything else here. Law of attraction. Again, I really think when we are still and we tap into our wise intuitive self, we will attract to us what is right for us, and we will choose the right path that we need to choose. So that is the reading for the month of April. And like I said, I thought I would pull an extra card. These are the cards that I still have to write messages for yet for my deck, for the Animal Reflections deck. So let me just kind of shuffle these very carefully. I don't want to smear any of the chalk on here, because these are done with pastel chalks, pencils, paint, paper, paints. Did I say paint? I think I did. All right, let's pull a card. Let's see what animal is going to go, has just a little extra insight for us with this theme for April. Here we go. Oh my gosh. I can't remember if this is my pelican card. I believe that, no, wait. This is the crane card, sorry. I was excited because two of the animals that I wanted to see here in Florida are the pelican, and which I did see this week, and also the manatee, which I'm hoping we are going to see tomorrow. And if you are watching this video through my newsletter, hopefully I will have shared a picture of some manatee, because I'm so hoping we're going to see manatee tomorrow. We're going to Manatee State Park, and the manatee are usually here from January through April. So crossing my fingers, they show up. So I still had pelican on the brain, was the point of this whole thing. but this is actually a sandhill crane. I love, love, love my sandhill crane picture. To me, it's just so calming and so soothing. And so I'm looking at the theme of Fork in the Road and that we had rhinoceros as our animal for the month. And what additional, oh, well, sandhill crane to me, you know, they were actually making their way into Wisconsin just before we left. I saw a few of them and I heard a few of them. And, you know, I know it's sandhill crane, but for some reason the butterfly is really standing out to me. So I'm going to go with that, even though the main animal for this card is the crane. I'm really, my eye and my intuitive sense is really tapping into the butterfly because fork in the road, because I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I think I still have vacation brain, so don't mind me. So butterfly is all about transformation. And so often, no matter what path, again, we choose, when we come to that fork in the road, we are going to be transformed in some way, shape, or form. And it's all good. It's all good. So don't fear that fear. So don't fear that fork in the road. You're going to learn something from it. And maybe you'll make a decision too quick, and the next time you'll realize I need to take more time when you come to another fork in the road, because there will always be another fork in the road, because that's why we're here. We're here to experience a lot of different experiences, and we're going to be given many opportunities for that. We have been given many opportunities actually for that in the last 2 years of change and growth and yeah, just learning to move through life with many, many different changes that we are all experiencing. So I hope that was helpful. It's getting really warm in here in the camper because I have all the windows closed and the doors so I could keep the noise out in the background. Though it's a very quiet campground here, but yet there's people outside having fun and lots of kids. So that is the reading for April. I hope that was helpful. And like I said, I will come back mid-April and we'll revisit this and see if there's any additional insight or support that I can provide you. So let me know if that was helpful or if you have any questions or, yeah, what does rhinoceros mean to you? Or maybe you have a message that came up for Sandhill Crane. Maybe that's what you picked up on when I was doing the reading and you have something to offer that might help somebody else as well. So you can just leave a comment in the section below or just reach out and let me know. All right. I will see you again in March, and then I will be back home in my cozy little cottage. I'm really excited to head back home again. It's been a great time away, but I'm really starting to feel the itch that I want to get back home. I want to keep working on my Animal Reflections Oracle deck, get back to more of my art. That's the road that I'm going to take. And all right, we'll check back with you again in March. Take good care, everyone. All right, bye-bye.